Ramzan Kadyrov has flaunted a Tesla Cybertruck with a machine gun mounted on its back.
Tesla just shut down its US Cybertruck production, but not for the reasons they're claiming.
And he has promised to send the vehicle to the front lines in Ukraine.
After a modified Cybertruck showed up in Chechnya, fully weaponized and allegedly linked to warlord Remesyn. Kadyrov, the story spiraled into black market, export cyber attacks and silent military takeovers. What started as a truck just became a global security crisis. So it all started recently when Ramzan Kadyrov, the controversial Chechen leader and longtime Putin loyalist, posted a video on his official Telegram channel that immediately set off alarms across the globe. In the footage, he proudly showcased the Tesla Cybertruck, but not the kind you see in commercials or tech expose. This one had been heavily modified for warfare mounted. On its roof was a cord-heavy machine gun, the type used in combat zones. The truck was armored, painted in military camouflage, and marked with official Chechen military insignia. It looked less like a futuristic pickup and more like a tactical assault vehicle.
Later accusing the media of lying. So how did this Putin ally with a lengthy history of human rights violations get his hands on the rock?
The video didn't leave much to interpretation, and soldiers stood around the vehicle saluting it like it was some national treasure. The display was unmistakably deliberate, and then came the quote that took everything to another.
Musk strongly denied ever gifting the vehicle to the warlord and had some choice words for anyone suggesting otherwise, later accusing the media of lying.
That one line spread like wildfire within hours. It was plastered all over news tickers, Twitter timelines, and WhatsApp groups from Europe to North America. Western journalists raced to verify the claim, but by then the damage was already done. Russian state media had picked up the story, amplifying it as proof that Western technology could be re-engineered and weaponized. And online people weren't asking if it was true, they were asking why it happened. Was Tesla really supplying vehicles to warlords? Was Musk involved in some secret geopolitical deal? Or had the Cybertruck somehow fallen into the wrong hands? ABC didn't take long for Elon Musk to respond. Within the day, he posted a clear and direct message. "I did not send Kadyrov a Cybertruck," here emphasized that the vehicle in the video was never authorized for military use, and any connection being drawn between him and the Chechen regime was completely false. But something about the truck raised eyebrows. Experts who closely examined the video noticed that the model shown wasn't a standard production unit. It appeared to have features that were never released to the public: custom suspension, reinforced windows, and sensor placements that were only present in early internal testing builds. That detail opened up an entirely new layer of speculation if Musk didn't send it. How did Kadyrov get a Cybertruck with confidential hardware? Then came the quiet leak. A source inside Washington revealed that National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan had privately met with Musk. Shortly after the video surfaced, the topic was Cybertruck exports and potential misuse of high-tech US vehicles by foreign powers. According to the leak, this wasn't the first time the issue had come up. The Department of Defense had reportedly warned Tesla earlier that year about suspicious export patterns involving Tesla vehicles being routed through Eastern Europe. Some of those vehicles, according to customs data, were being sent to Kazakhstan, a known route for gray market transfers to Russia and Chechnya. This added a new dimension to the controversy. If federal agencies had previously flagged these movements, and if internal Cybertruck builds were somehow ending up in sanctioned regions, was this just a case of corporate oversight or something more serious? Had Tesla ignored a federal compliance alert, or had someone inside the company helped make this deal happen a few days after the original Cybertruck video? Ramzan Kadyrov returned with another post on Telegram, this time furious. The clip was shorter but much more dramatic. In the middle of a military convoy patrol through the outskirts of Grozny, the Cybertruck abruptly powered down. Soldiers scrambled, trying to restart it. The camera zoomed in on the dashboard, completely black, according to sources. Monitoring the footage, the vehicle went into complete lock mode. Kadyrov didn't bother with theatrics this time. His voice was tight-clipped, angry. He accused Elon Musk of deliberately disabling the vehicle, used Tesla's system as a weapon of war against Russia. In his words, it was American techno-sabotage. The Kremlin didn't release an official statement, but they didn't need to. Russian state media filled the vacuum. Art and Sputnik Two of the largest government-funded news outlets in Russia ran evening segments dissecting the shutdown they brought in analysts who claimed this proved America was embedding surveillance. Tools into civilian technology, one anchor on Russia. One asked whether Tesla's global fleet could now be considered a military asset. Another suggested the Cybertruck's failure was an intentional message from the Pentagon. The term techno-terrorism suddenly started trending on Russian internet forums. Influencers, many of them with military connections, began circulating posts warning that any Western-made vehicle could be secretly controlled by hostile actors, Telegram channels tied to paramilitary. Groups advised against using Teslas or other US-built electric vehicles for official use in sensitive regions. Kadrov's own press secretary released a written statement 2 days later. In it, he claimed, if the West can shut down a vehicle in the middle of a war zone, what else can they control? The statement wasn't rhetorical, it was calculated. It implied that other tools, devices, and even weapon systems sourced from the West could be compromised. That message wasn't just for the Russian public, it was aimed at allies across Central Asia, the Middle East, and even Africa regions, where Tesla had been slowly expanding its EV footprint. While the debate was playing out publicly in Moscow and Grozny, something strange happened thousands of miles away in Texas. At Tesla's Geiga, Texas plant, the heart of Cybertruck production operations, suddenly halted. Tesla issued a brief statement on their investor portal, calling it a scheduled internal server maintenance window, but several employees, speaking anonymously to an EV industry watchdog blog, revealed that the servers hadn't gone down for updates. They'd been taken offline by force for 36 hours. Core systems at the plant were inaccessible. Production lines stopped, diagnostic terminals went dark, backup generators were triggered automatically. Cybersecurity professionals inside the company flagged the incident as a targeted cyber attack. It wasn't a random hit, the intrusion was precise, aimed specifically at the production and firmware deployment servers responsible for Cybertruck logistics. Within hours, screenshots of internal security alerts began circulating on Discord servers tied to EV software modders. The metadata on the images pointed to Tesla's internal DevSec Ops dashboard, a tool typically reserved for high-level security oversight. At the same time, Anonymous Russia, a well-known Telegram group with loose affiliations to pro-Kremlin hacking collectives, posted a cryptic message. It included 2 red circle emojis and the words, "A machine turned off can stay off until we say otherwise." The post was viewed over 3 million times within 6 hours. It was never explicitly tied to the Giga, Texas incident, but the timing raised more than a few eyebrows behind closed doors. The US government had already taken notice, according to a Capitol Hill staffer briefed on the matter. A classified Senate intelligence meeting was convened just hours after Tesla went dark. The phrase reportedly repeated in that early morning session. Foreign state actors have penetrated Tesla's core command structure. The quote was leaked by an aide from the Senate Intelligence Committee and later confirmed by a defense contractor familiar with EV cybersecurity assessments. Since then, Tesla hasn't commented further. Production quietly resumed after the blackout. But several security upgrades were spotted by employees returning to work, including on-site DHS contractors and 2 temporary server isolation pods. Soon after the chaos surrounding the remote shutdown of Kadrov Cybertruck, Tesla issued a statement that raised more questions than it answered. The company confirmed it was pausing Cybertruck production across all US facilities, but the wording was deliberately vague. The press release mentioned a security audit and a compliance review related to international vehicle distribution. No specific timeline, no mention of the incident in Chechnya, and no explanation for why such an abrupt halt was necessary when deliveries were still backlogged for months. But it didn't take long before internal documents started leaking and the real story behind the production freeze began to surface. One internal memo circulated among Tesla's logistics and legal teams revealed that supply chain officials had flagged multiple EV component shipments destined for Kazakhstan. On the surface, that didn't seem like a major issue. Kazakhstan is a legitimate export destination in a growing market for electric vehicles. But what caught attention was a customs intelligence note attached to one of the flagged shipments. The note warned that several parts were suspected of being re-exported without clearance through informal channels into Chechnya. In simple terms, they were being routed around official channels and redirected into a sanctioned territory. Further investigation into Tesla's shipping data revealed a more serious breach. Multiple VI numbers linked to Cybertruck units assembled during Q3 and Q4 had no registration matches in their supposed destination countries. Some didn't appear in any database at all, not in US records, not in EU customs, and not in Asian import logs. This suggested the possibility of unregistered black market circulation vehicles.